me, rain it's almost a trigger for me, especially when it's heavy rain. It always makes me think back to what we've gone through.
Yeah, no, this was my room.
Entire communities remain cut off tonight.
Hawke's Bay just woke to absolute chaos.
Heavy flooding and strong winds during Cyclone Gabrielle. Air rescues are still underway.
A national state of emergency has been declared.
So this was our home. We lived here for around 3 years until the cyclone hit. It's my CD of Alanis Morissette. Jagged Little Pill. Such a good record. As you can see on the walls, like the mud came all the way up to the ceilings here. Coming out the driveway there over the cattle stop, that was the hardest bit. We had to basically almost float to get out of the driveway. We made it out by the skin of our teeth. For the past few months, we've been living in a motel. And now we've been very blessed to be able to live now in a home that we can stay in for as long as we need until we can find somewhere permanent to stay. When it rains like heavily now, I'm always alert. My anxiety does start to rise. Like I do get very panicked sometimes. I get a bit shaky in my voice, my mannerisms. I find it hard to move sometimes. It really does affect me. As much as people think it doesn't, it does.
Eco-anxiety is any kind of emotional response or reaction to the climate crisis. As someone who was at that point already training to be a psychologist, I realised there was just very little research on it. For certain young people, it's actually really impacting their ability to just go about their lives. So being able to sleep, being able to eat, and then also extreme guilt and shame about the climate crisis, about their ability to respond. For some people who have experienced direct impacts of climate change, climate-related distress is maybe a more appropriate term because their experiences are really not about worrying about it worsening, but about coping with having witnessed some really horrible things.
I feel like the impact climate change has on mental health isn't really understood that well by people, especially those who have never experienced climate change in action. My little sibling Maya, still to this day, she still has nightmares. Like my dad, he's also very much like my mother, very strong in trying to mask his emotions, trying to be in control. And so it is hard to kind of gather what he's going through.
I can't seem to go a day without wondering what the weather's doing. It's been a few times we're even going over the motorway on the bridge. The river's been rising again and I'm trying to calm myself. So many things that you never used to think of at all.
And when we look up northern hemispheres, so they have floods, they have fires, tornadoes, earthquakes, and you think, well, we're nice and safe down here. But in reality, it's not impacting the northern hemisphere, it's impacting the whole world.
It makes absolute sense to be worried about it. My advice is know that your response is normal, and also you are not wholly responsible for solving things. My eco-anxiety was about me feeling like I had to be this agent of climate change mitigation, and I felt like I could never do enough. Once I started researching it, I realised a lot of the responsibility to mitigate the climate crisis is with decision makers, institutions and the government. Good climate policy is good mental health policy. We can't disentangle these two things. However, in a lot of the policy documents that I've read, it does feel like mental health impacts of climate change are a bit of an added afterthought. You cannot ignore the fact that this is a political problem, this is an environmental problem.
Hawke's Bay for me is my spiritual home. We're obligated to looking after our whenua, our land. We are the guardians, the kaitiaki, of ensuring that what sustains us, what provides for us, is taken care of.